Hey y'all, it's Kat from Kat Southern Charms. Today we're gonna talk about Resincrete or Magic Pour. Expert had it as Pure Cure, which they don't carry anymore. Jesmonite. It is a plaster-like powder that you mix with water. So there's no chemical reactions involved in this. This is something that people who are pregnant, people who want to do a craft with their children can do together and not worry about chemicals. So what I did is, you can see the Resincrete is based on weight, and it is a 10:3 ratio, 10 parts powder, which this is 100 grams, to 3 parts water. So since I multiplied 10 by 10, I multiplied 3 by 10, and I have 30 grams of water for each one of these cups. You can mix it in a bigger container if you want to. That's all up to you. For the purpose of today and what I'm gonna do, I decided to do it this way. I have a little planter holder that I'm gonna use, and also have like a little card holder, like if you're at a wedding, a place card holder, or an event, you want to put business cards out, or you have a seating chart at a conference, whatever. That's what these are. You see this little notch here? This is where the card will sit in the heart. It would sit like this, and then the card will go here. So if you see a mold like that with this little notch in the middle, that's what that's for. It's a card holder. Okay, so maybe do one of these, but what I want to talk about is how I use Plastercrete to create kits for kids. I have these little molds. This is a kitty cat one, and I have a rabbit one, and I have a bear one. These all three come together. I got these from Amazon. I'm trying to think how I looked it up on Amazon. I'll put a link to these in the description below. So if you want to get these little 3-pack of animals, look below for the link to Amazon to grab these. But let me show you what they look like. Here, I just do blanks for these. This is super smooth. These have set for a long time. So what I do is I pack them. You can see them all. I pack them with some acrylic little paint flip tops. Let me see if I can find, oh, I have one right here. These little flip tops, I know y'all seen these. And what I do, I just cut it in half. So I'll send 3 colors with these, so kids can paint them. They can also use acrylic markers if you want to grab some little acrylic markers, like individual ones, and you can put in a little pack with these. I sell it as a kit, but I cut these in half, so it's 3 colors to go in with a pack, and I have a little cheap paintbrush that I put in there too for them. I think I have that. Yeah. I just bought a kit of these little snap tap acrylic things. I think I got them from Oriental Trading, actually, and it comes with paintbrushes too. So I'll put 1 paintbrush, 3 paints in a kit. I did some for a birthday party one time. They wanted to, you know, do like an art tea party gathering, which whatever you want to call it. So that's one way you can use them. I made ornaments with them and used metallic pens to highlight the raised areas. I make brooches, you know, like a cameo from the 20s that were very popular. So I make these. I do the same thing. I use silver and gold on this one. Angels. little doves. You can make these as ornaments. There's a hole in this one, so you just tie a ribbon through, and it's a Christmas ornament. Anyway, so there's a lot of different things you can do with this and still be artistic if you have to be aware of the chemical reactions. You can't be around that. Like me with long COVID. Sometimes I give myself a break from resin and all the chemical reactions. This is what I do instead. I still can scratch that art itch that I have and still be creative. So I'll link these little animals for you guys in the description, so be on the lookout for that. But what I want to do today, and look, I just use a regular kitchen scale. I think this costs $5. I think I got it from Walmart, like the little mainstay. Runs on batteries. You can change what unit measure you want to grams, fluid ounce. You can just change it to whatever you want. I measure this in grams because we're measuring weight. So let me move that out of the way. What I want to try, these are the dyes that come with the Resin Crete. They're different than your resin dyes. And I'll tell you, I watched someone do an experiment because I was going to experiment with it. And after what I saw, I was like, no, there's no sense wasting it. Resin dyes, no go. Acrylic paint, on the other hand, actually does work. And I think I'm going to wait and mix this in after I get it mixed together. Because once you pour the water in this powder, you have very little work time. This cures very quickly. It's going to set up within 30 to 40 minutes. It's going to be ready. In fact, I think it says 30 minutes to demold. Now, let me tell you a secret about that. Don't do it. Because it's water-based. And the reason that it cures so hard is because the water evaporates out of the mixture, okay? After 30 minutes, it's still very damp. So if you have any intricate areas, like if you wanted to do one of the thinkers, you know, your little intricate areas, maybe the feet, it's super, super fragile after 30 minutes. What I do, I let mine sit 2 to 3 hours. So I know it's definitely cured. I'm not going to have a problem. So that's something that I wanted to cue you in on. Because like if you do a tail, let's see. I have a turtle here. So if you do a tail or his little flippers and you pull it out after 30 minutes, guess what? The tail is going to be gone. Maybe some of the flippers and maybe his head are going to be gone. So give it time for the water to really evaporate and let it dry out so you're not running into pieces missing or breaking off, because that would be a waste of powder, right? So those are some things you need to watch out for. Some things I forewarn up front. Don't demold at 30 minutes. Some people are going to say, I do it all the time, I don't have a problem. You know, some people are way luckier than I am too, because I lost tails off of seahorses, off of dragons. So do it at your own risk is what I will tell you. I recommend waiting 2 hours before you do that. Okay, so let's mix this up. I think both of these are black. So I'm going to do one with a little black in it to do a marble. And then I'm going to do blue and yellow make green, right? Blue and red make purple. So we're going to combine these to make some different colors. I'm still going to marble it. I like that. And I like that in a terracotta look. Now, something I want to get that I haven't gotten yet is there are like little terracotta pieces, which you can make your own with any powder you have left over. You can just pour, maybe pour in a round mold. If you have a tray mold, just pour it on there and let it cure and dry, and then just break it up in little pieces. and that can be your terrazzo that you put in with just white to make little specks in your design. But Walmart actually has that terrazzo, like you see them sprinkle on floors when they're doing garages, and they add that to the resin. So you can get it in the jars in the colors that you want. That's another option for you if you want to go that speckled route. But for this, let's start mixing. And I'm just going to move this. I want to make sure you can see. Just pull the full amount in. And one thing, this is the Pure Cure that Teexpert makes. They don't make it anymore, which is sad because I really like it. One thing I have found, when you add your water to this powder, some of these really shrink down. And in this cup, make sure that you get all the powder out from the bottom. So I'm stirring really well. All right. So I'm just gonna, and you know what? I didn't see if these were, I think it is open. And this doesn't take much. So there's one drop in here, and I'm just going to like chop it in because I want that marble. So I'm leaving this like it is. And you know what? I'll pour this guy later. Let's just pour this in here. Look at that design, y'all. All right, so when you do this, you don't use heat to get the bubbles out, just tap the sides, okay? So you're just gonna tap to get the bubbles to come to the top. That's all I'm doing, like agitate. And what I'm gonna do, I've got a little black on this, and I'm just gonna swirl to create a design. Okay? And I'm gonna let that sit. And remember what I said, this doesn't have any sharp edges, but I'm still gonna let it sit a while. So let's do another one. And let's do, let's do green. How about that? So, we're going to pour our water. Where's my other stick? We're going to mix. Mixing this in. Scrape your sides, scrape the bottom, make sure you get all the powder off the bottom. Scrape your stick that you're stirring with, or whatever you're going to stir with. Make sure it's good and combined. Let's just do blue in this. How about that? Because the other I'm gonna do. All right, let's just add a little blue in this one. And all I'm doing in this, I'm adding one little drop. Add it to the stick, okay? And I'm going to chop it in so it has the swirls. And I'm going to pour Okay. And I'm gonna let that tap it to get any bubbles. And I'm gonna take just do a design, and that's it. All this, easy cleanup. I rinse it out in my sink, wipe it out with paper towels, ready to go again. So that is how that works. That is how you can make marble. You can also do a dirty pour. Let's show you that. I don't remember. You know what? I don't know. So let's just do purple. Oh, can't use that one because it's split. I know I have more. Well, let's just put it in here. Easy enough. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my colors. I'm actually gonna mix them in my water and see what happens. And I think this is blue. Oh, that's black. This is blue. So I'm gonna take blue, one drop, one drop of red, okay. Woo. And I'm going to mix this up. And it is purple. So let's pour it in. Okay. Now we're gonna mix it. And remember, any color you mix to this powder, it's gonna pastel down because the powder is white. So be mindful of that. Jesmonite has some dyes that are like super pigmented that work great with this powder. I don't have any at the moment because I just use these dyes that come with the kit. They work good, but after seeing how vibrant the Jesmonite is, really makes me want to try that. So there is purple. I want to make sure it's all good and stirred because look, in this cup you can see at the bottom if there's any white powder still left, right? So you want to make sure it's mixed good. And I'm just going to pour it right in here, and we'll have our lavender. You see the bubbles coming to the top in this one. And the specks of the color. So I'm going to, see the bubbles I've already popped? I'm gonna shake it, shimmy it, tap it. Okay. And see, look, this, when I tap, is barely jiggling anymore. So, you can't wait around for your bubbles. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this here right now. I'm gonna clean up my other cups. My powders and my water that's already pre-measured are here ready to go. And when we come back, I'm gonna have these mixed up. I'm gonna show you how to do a dirty pour, and we're gonna put it in a pot holder that you can plant your pots in. Now, after this, I am actually out of my sealant. after these are cured and done, put a beeswax seal on it. It waterproofs it, and it keeps water getting to it, which can damage it. So, yes, people have asked, do you seal these? Yes, you do. Highly recommend, and I use just a beeswax seal. But we'll go over that more when we come back. So, for y'all it'll be a minute, for me it'll be a few. Until I see you in a few seconds, ta-ta for now. Hey y'all, we're back. It's later than I said, I'm sorry. But I was dealing with some back pain. So it's the next day. Everything is really cured up. Let's take a look. Let's save that for last. Let's look at our blue one first. Yeah, look. See how easy it's come away from the side? Oh, look at that. Looks like a blue cloud. See that? Beautiful. Solid. Just like plaster. You could put a clear UV on the back of this. The next step after taking them out, because these are sharp edges, is to use sandpaper. And most of these, like JDiction has the Resin Crete, most of their kits come with sandpaper. And you need to do a wet sand on this to knock these edges down. And what do I mean? It's a strip of sandpaper that comes in the kit. And I keep like a cup of water to the side when I start sanding these. And I dip my hand in the cup and I sprinkle the sandpaper. And then I do a wet sand on this. Let that dry. When it's done drying, then I seal it. People ask all the time, do you need to seal these things? The answer is yes. I use a beeswax sealant, and it's kind of, if you ever use like Carmex for your lips, it's that kind of consistency. And I just take a soft cloth and I run my fingers through the beeswax, and then I just cover the whole thing, rub it in. And that will put a seal on this to protect it from any water, because water is what created this, right? So if you expose it to a lot of water, it can deteriorate the piece. So we don't want to do that. We use wet sandpaper, knock the edges down, seal it with a beeswax, good to go. Then it's, you know, water will run off of it. It won't stay. Just like if you put a sealant outside on your back deck. Same thing, kind of. All right, so there's our blue one. There's the back. Set that to the side. Let's look at our purple piece. Let me move that mold out of the way. Purple piece. Kind of looks like a Easter robin egg. Remember what I told you, when you add tint to this powder that's white, it's gonna pastel the color down. So here is our lavender. There's the back. Again, some sharp edges on this. So again, wet sand, seal with beeswax, good to go. Now, I put stickers on these sometimes. I've done that in the past to make like, I don't know. I like the vinyl stickers that are waterproof. Slap it on there for decoration, leave it like it is, add some little bling to it, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Now let me tell you, if you want to add resin in this Resincrete together, the best way to do it is do your Resincrete first, then add your resin. Say I'll put a sticker on this side, okay, and then I want to top coat the sticker. This is fine. The resin will stick and cure to this, no problems. Now, if you try to pour resin, first and let that cure, and then pour the Resincrete over the resin that's cured, it's gonna pop off. It doesn't adhere that way. So always resin to your cured resin piece, not Resincrete to a cured resin piece, or it won't adhere. So that's a tip for you too. Save you some headaches. Now, our favorite piece, or my favorite piece. I love marbling. And that's what this is. The black and white marble. Came right out, super easy. Get rid of the mold. Here's the back side we've been looking at. And there is the front side. Beautiful. It's so smooth, y'all. So smooth. Anyway, again, wet sand the edges. Put the beeswax on all over. Done deal. What do you think? Do you like that piece? Gorgeous. So, put those aside. Now today I want to try something different. I added, well, no, I'm going to use this mold. We'll just use this mold. I added some black mica powder in with my white mica, and it makes like this gray, kind of like ash. Then I added some black drops that come with the Resincrete, because remember, Resincrete drops, that ink is what we use, or the Jesmonite excuse me, coloring that they have, because that is super vibrant. But I want to try to make a black, and I want to see how it comes out using the mica in with the powder and the black drops in with the water. So let's mix this and see what we get. All right, pour that in. Try to get all of that in. All right. And I kind of like just stab this down and then stir so it doesn't cause my stuff to fly out. And you may have to add a little more water to this because mica soaks up your water. Okay? So I can tell you, this consistency, I need more water. And I happen to have some right here. I'm gonna add a little more water to this. So keep that in mind. If you're using mica powder, it's gonna suck up some of your water. So definitely keep that in mind. And make sure that you get all the powder off the bottom. You don't want clumps like that left on the bottom, right? So I scrape all my sides down, and you can feel the resistance from the powder if there's any stuck at the bottom. Make sure you get it all, or it's not going to cure right. Okay. All right, see that? I think that's good. And remember, you don't have a lot of working time because this does start setting up pretty fast. So I'm gonna pour this in here. Oop. It's pretty good. All right, set that to the side. And see the little bubbles, remember? Just jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. because you don't put heat on these to pop bubbles. You just jiggle it. I can tell right now we're gonna have, looks like some little bubbles. Okay. Ah, I do see a little husky hair. There, got it out. I do have 2 huskies, y'all. They're pretty quiet today, right now. We'll see how long that lasts. Their friends are out back. All right, so that's good. We're gonna let that sit and let it cure, and I still see another hair there, but that's all right, no biggie. I wanna see how well this turns out. Putting the black mica in with the white powder, and I just put, gosh, probably 2 or 3 heaping spoons using the stick of mica in with the powder, and just mixed it up gently so it's not flying everywhere. So that's how we did that. Now I want to do 2 things. One, that other color, remember I thought was too black. One is green. So my bad. So we're gonna mix this green in here, and we're gonna have a pastel green, I'm sure. All right, y'all look at that, cute, huh? That's a cute green, little pastel green. Great for St. Patrick's Day. I don't know why I did that accent. That's not Irish for sure. I do have Irish heritage though. Irish Italian. So this is a very cute little mint color. I like this. Adorable. So we're just gonna mix this up. And I'm not doing a big pour. And you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to cut in, what color? All right, let's cut in. Should we do this blue? Oh, you know what? No. Let's cut in some of this gold, and this is acrylic, y'all. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use this, and I'm gonna, wow, that was not good. Dip this in, and I'm going to not do that because that did not work. All right, so we're not going to do that. All right, I'll have to mix up another batch and do it that way. But for now, let's just pour green out and see how our mint green, we'll just do solid colors. You saw how I did the marble yesterday, or earlier in this video, because it's all going to be put out together. Okay, so there is a mint green, and we're just going to tap. And this next one, I'm gonna do different. I'm gonna add the water. We're gonna make a white powder, then we're gonna add the color. That way. And we'll use this teal acrylic paint because I did find out you can use acrylic paints with these, and it turns out pretty good. It's not super pastel, but so what I'm doing now is I'm scraping the bottom. I'm gonna make sure all that powder is up out of all the crevices down there, that everything is combined and mixed well. Then let's add, and this is a metallic blue. No, I didn't count drops, I just squeeze it in. See that? All right, let's see what we get. Look at that. So you can add acrylic paints to this. It's not super vibrant, but that's a pretty color, huh? Let's add a little more. All right. Let's mix this real good. Like I said, you don't have a lot of time to mess with these before they start setting up. And if you start feeling it get thick, when you're stirring it, you start feeling some resistance, you need to start pouring out, okay? So, just gonna pour it in here. I can tell it's starting to thicken up some. Okay, so there's that acrylic blue. A little more bubbles with this one, looks like. There we go. Okay, most of them are gone. You know, like you tap a cake before you put it in the oven? See, that's exactly what I'm doing here. I am just patting it on, wow, decorating my fingers too. I'm just patting it down to get the bubbles to come to the top. And like I told y'all before, look, this already is setting, so I can't really jiggle it anymore. All right. So there we go. We're gonna let those set and cure. Remember, this is our acrylic. This is the green that comes with your kit. And this, we added mica powder into our powder mix, added black to our water, our black colorant to the water, and we're gonna see how this turns out. Because if I can make a black, like plaster, y'all, then we're talking, right? That'll be beautiful. So, for y'all, it'll be a few seconds, but for me, I'm gonna wait about an hour and let these really set up good. As you saw before, they kind of shrunk away from the side because I did wait overnight. So if you wanna add resin to the top of your pieces before removing it out, which I may do in one of these. We'll decide. Well, No, we won't do that because then I'll make the video even longer. Y'all know how to top coat. I've done that in a whole bunch of other videos. Look up my new resin technique where I use the alcohol inks on cured resin. Seal that alcohol ink so the colors stay vibrant. Then I do a top coat. So watch that video if you want to learn how to do a top coat, keep everything from being messy, have an easy cleanup for yourself. That's a good one to watch to learn that technique. But for now, ooh, look y'all, look at that. Here, I'm going to bringing you down so you can see. Look at that. That's like a matte finish, and I am digging that, like a black chalkboard. We have our green that's setting up and our acrylic paint. All right, we're gonna let these set up and we'll come back, take them out, and finish up this video for you. See you in a few. Hey y'all, we're back. I can tell you right now, adding the acrylic, it is gonna take longer to cure. I'm leaving that one alone. I'll take pictures and I'll add it under, maybe I'll do a short when I pull this out so you can see what it looks like. But that still needs to cure. But in the meantime, this is not completely cured, but this is the black. And you can feel, when you take it out early and you don't let it dry, like I told you, for an hour or two, you can feel how damp it is. This is very fragile. So I'm gonna set it to the side. Look at all the little pieces coming off. So I'm gonna set that to the side, let it finish curing. Let's pull out our green. And this is the one where I messed up and I thought there were two blacks. So when I added it for the black piece, it ended up being green. So that's why we poured the green. Again, you can feel how damp this is. It is not fully cured either, but it's enough that I can pull it out of the mold and show you guys, because I want to get this uploaded for you. So there's the green. Again, I'm gonna let it finish curing, drying. I can pull it out. All right, we can pull it out. There we go. And that is with, where is it? The acrylic. We put in the, once we mix the powder up, we added the acrylic paint in, and this is what we got. So you can see the difference, the pastel and the truer color with this blue and the acrylic. So you can use acrylic paint. It's gonna take a little longer to set up, I'll tell you that. Anyway, those, move this out of the way. This is, and see, you can see how crumbly. It is still very wet here. This, very wet. So if you're gonna use acrylics, know you have to give it extra time, a lot longer time to cure, as compared to using the inks that come, move this, because I don't want blue getting in with my black, and I don't want any of this getting in with the green, so we'll let that. So Resincrete, you can use it to make holiday ornaments. Here are some that I made from last year. Maybe you lost a pet this year, you wanted an ornament for them. There you go. There's Dove. And I use it to make cameos that I then put on a coaster, or like that would look really cute on that black. All kind of different things you can do with these. But really and honestly, this Resincrete, two things. It's eco-friendly, and it have no fumes, no chemical reactions, nothing like that. So if you're pregnant, if you want to do something with your children, this is something to use. I showed y'all pictures of the sealant. Let me explain the difference. JDiction does have a sealant, but it is more a varnish and a gloss to make your piece shiny. So when you put that on, it's like adding a varnish to ceramics. It makes it really glossy and shiny, but it also protects it. If you don't want that super gloss finish, use the other one that I showed you, the Wax It All. It is like a beeswax, and you just rub it in, and it's just a sealant. It seals the pores, protects your piece from fading, from cracking if it's in sunlight, because if it's in sunlight for a long time, it's plaster. It's gonna dry, it's gonna get brittle, and it's gonna break if you don't protect it. So adding that Wax It All is not gonna give it that varnish, super shiny look like the JDiction does, but it will protect it from water. It'll be water resistant. So if you do make, and I know I said we were gonna make this, and I'm gonna do it a different time because I messed up with the colorants. If you do make a plant holder like this, where you can put a pot that has flowers or whatever in it, a flower pot in, sealing it with the Wax It All will protect it from any water when you're watering your plants, anything like that. So that is the difference of the two that I showed you. The JDiction is a varnish. It will also protect it and make it waterproof, but it's gonna make it super glossy, and that may not be the look that you're going for. So if you want just protection, a protective layer and barrier, use the Wax It All. It won't make it super glossy, but it will protect your piece. So there you go, guys. That is how we use Resincrete, Pure Cure, Magic Pour. There's all kind of different names, Jesmonite, all kind of different names. Essentially, it is a plaster powder you add water to, no worry about chemicals, and you can create beautiful things to last a lifetime. I hope this helped you. Leave me a comment below. What is something that you learned that you were looking to learn going into this video? Anyway, until next time, happy arting. Ta-ta for now. Oh, make sure you do the YouTubey things, because believe it or not, 80% of the people that watch my videos don't hit that subscribe button. It's free, y'all, and it helps other people find us. So make sure you subscribe and you hit the like so others who may be struggling can find our fun videos. See y'all next time. Ta-ta for now.